You know, here's the interesting thing. I have daughters. They're in college. They didn't know anything about Magnum P.I. When I told them the idea, they thought it was a cool idea. They'll get to see this new version and maybe now be interested in looking at the older version as well. So our version hopefully will not only excite new fans and maybe show fans of the original that we're honoring it, but may get some of the new fans to look at the older show. So I like that part of it. I like the fact that it's going to introduce the idea to an audience that may never ever get the chance of seeing the other version. So
when the casting went out for Magnum, did you know you wanted to try something different? Like a Jay, or
we always wanted,
finding somebody
always wanted to do the opposite. We didn't want to do Tom Selleck because nobody could do Tom Selleck was amazing in that role. Trying to get a clone would be silly. We just wanted to introduce a different Magnum. And Jay's somebody everybody's wanted to work with, and we just got lucky that he responded to the script. So. The original show was such a brotherhood, which is a big part of the DNA of the show. But we wanted to have, a female voice in the show, and it felt like Higgins always had this military history that he talked about. So we wanted to take that and up it a step and have Higgins really be a part of the storytelling outside of the house, using the skills that in the original version Higgins always talked about. Our Higgins is not going to talk about it, she's going to be a doer. And it felt having a female voice, felt like the show needed that. You know, even if you look back at the show, what's missing is a female voice. So it felt very natural. It wasn't deliberate. It just felt like, how are we going to tell this story in 2018? So,
well, yeah, we don't deny the fact that he's Mexican American, certainly. We didn't set out to, we kind of always said, the best actor sort of won out, and like Peter said, Jay, he's a guy who is incredibly charming, incredibly charismatic. He's been offered everything. Every year he's offered a pilot, but always says no. So we just feel really fortunate that, this time around he said yes. So.
We shoot on Monday.
Yeah. Well, that's on Hawaii Island.
That's on
we're on Oahu.
Yeah, different island.
Yeah.
But the Vog, which is like the volcano smog, it's called Vog. Not as much, the trade winds take it away, but I think it affects everybody just because it's such a small community there, between the islands. But we're not anywhere near it, so we try all the time to do everything practical. Sometimes, in the pilot we did some CG, and that was more for lack of time. We were shooting it in a finite period of time. We definitely have a lot of action, but it's not an action-heavy show. So I imagine it's going to be a lot less, CG than say something like 5-0.
Thank you all so much. We really appreciate it.
That was fast. Hey, thank you guys.